Hi everyone, this is Bella from Unlock Your Design, bringing you the daily Jinky horoscope for January 18th. If you missed our masterclass on Aquarius, you can still get the replay for $12. You also get the PDF, 17 pages, and a one-pager that is a roadmap for how to meet the Aquarius and the archetypes the sun is going to be in for the next month from January 20th to February 18th. So you don't want to wait too long to get the masterclass, to get the replay, because you're really going to be able to use it in a practical sense for the next month. Wednesday is one of those days where it's very important to look at the astrological chart and not just the Jinky chart to understand the energy is going to be activated for the collective. In this chart, we have all the 13 planetary bodies that we have on the personality side in our body graph. We also have Chiron and Lilith. And we have it as a wheel so we can see the relationship or the aspects between these different planetary bodies. So looking at the chart for Wednesday, we have what we call conjunctions. We see that we have the Sun and Pluto together, we have Venus and Saturn together, we have Lilith and the Earth together, and we have Uranus and the North Node close to each other. The most important conjunction that I already mentioned yesterday is the Sun and Pluto here in the very last gate of the whole wheel. 60.6 is the last line. 41.1 is the first line. This is the Chinese New Year, and it's happening on the 22nd of January. So here, right before a new start, we have this conjunction of Pluto and the Sun in the gate of limitation, and it's opposite Lilith. So Pluto is the archetype of transformation, of death, of rebirth. It can be deep shadow work, deep work in the unconscious. Having the Sun illuminating this, there are things that can come up from the dark, from the secret, but also in a more practical way, we can become aware of what we don't want anymore, what doesn't work. And of course, from that, now that we are moving out of Capricorn and into Aquarius, into the new year, it's also this sense of what do you want to bring into the new year? What do you want to create for yourself forward? With that energy, we also have this conjunction with Venus and Saturn in the 49. Venus has to do with love and relationships, and Saturn has to do with structures and rules. So they are communicating here, saying, what do we want for the new year? How can we do things differently, or how should we still do things the same? The 49 is the gate of principles. So here it's even more about deciding what are the values that we are living by in this family, in this tribe, in this community, and even in a bigger sense as a collective. Both of those conjunctions, the Sun with Pluto and Venus with Saturn, is something we only have once a year, and they happen to be on the same day right before the Rave New Year. I think you understand with this that 2023 is a year of possibilities, a year of the new. At this point, we're leaving the old behind. We've had an aspect that created a tug between the old and the new. That was the square between Uranus in Taurus and Saturn here in Aquarius. The square has been exact a few times every year for the last few years. And now they are moving apart. They're not creating that tug between the old and the new. We always have Uranus that wins because evolution always wins. And the fact that we also have it close to the North Node, which is the direction of the collective, it just means that it is even stronger. The last thing I will mention here is that we have the moon in Sagittarius opposite Mars. Both of those have to do with our drive. The moon is more of that emotional and unconscious drive, and Mars is more about the drive to act and to move in the world. We have that in the 16 and in the 9. I believe that even if we have this conjunction with Pluto and the Sun, there is a feeling of optimism, of what's possible, an anticipation of the fact that all the planets are going to be direct at the end of the week. Actually, Mercury is going direct on this very day. So a feeling on what's to come, even if there is still some of this more heavy shadow work and letting go that needs to happen, If you watch yesterday's horoscope, which was a 1-3 day, I go into exactly what the main archetype, the magician, is about. I also speak about the incarnation cross, so you can go back and listen to that. Here we have a 2-4 day with this main archetype, the magician. And here is the dancing magician that really likes naturalness, ease, seeing itself in the other. It's only going to dance if it's worth it. So this day you want to tune into who are the people that are worth going out and do something with. The second line is a hermit, until it's worth it. The second line is picky. It's also important for the second line to fulfill yourself first and not expect other people to fulfill you. It's important who's around you on this day, and this has to do with some of these deeper layers of the transformational work with Pluto, and also the negotiation that's going on with Saturn and Venus. So you want to be with people that are tuning into their heart, people that are truthful, people that you can trust. And then whatever conversation is going on about the values, about the way forward, about what to do differently, you can trust that you're going to come to something that feels good for both of you. And that's the 50. It's weeding out what's not in balance. It's allowing there to be equilibrium in the change, in the way that we continue forward. This is the last day we have the Pearl in Jinki 25 before it moves on into the 17th. The Pearl is the Jupiter activation. Jupiter is our law, the guideline, what we need to follow. Through everything that's going on astrologically, Mercury going direct, the conjunction with Pluto and the Sun, the conjunction with Venus and Saturn. The law, the guideline, is to come back to our innocence. The 6th line has seen it all, been through everything, and it comes back to innocence. There's nothing else. As human beings, we're not here to become arrogant. We're here to become innocent. This theme is reinforced by the fact that the vocation is in the 12, which is purity, and that we have the purpose in the 3rd Jinki, which is the eternal child. So we have purity and innocence and that childlike way of being in the world that is communicated to us through all these 3 spheres. So go deep, feel into the negotiations that need to happen in your relationships for you to be set up to move on into the new year in a constructive way. And know that if you show up in those conversations, if you show up with yourself in your shadow work, you are going to be able to weed out a lot of the distraction, a lot of the corruption, a lot of the things that are not in harmony for you. Last thing, the body graph for Wednesday is a reflector body graph. If we look at the black, which is what's activated right now, we don't have a black channel. We only have black hanging gates. So we have a reflector chart that's a filter. A lot of energy is going to move through you. You're not going to be able to not feel the energy, especially not if you're sensitive. Remember, if it's a reflector chart, if we have open centers, the important thing is to be a filter and not a sponge. Let it move through you. Don't hold on to it. Just be in the storm and let it move through you. Be in the eye of the storm. That's the best way to energetically deal with the strong energies that we're going to have on Wednesday. Thank you so much. And I see you soon again.